Vechain's VET token has slipped in price by over 8% in the last 24 hours. Is it time to panic sell your bags or double down and start accumulating and build out your portfolio? Guys, let's jump into the charts and take a look at what's going on with Vechain's VET token. Okay guys, let's start things off by taking a look at where we currently sit here with Vechain. At the point of recording today's video, we're at 3.72 cent. We have come down a fair bit in the last 24 hours, just over 8%, and we are heading down a little bit deeper in my opinion, but this isn't anything to be too concerned with in my opinion. It does look like we have the ability for a double bottom at 3.5 cent or come down to the ranges that we were talking about in the previous video between 2.9 and 3.2. These are going to be great areas for accumulation on the Vechain VET token. It's going to be the next area in my opinion for a bounce of significance to the upside, and in today's video I want to kind of show you not only the bad but also what this might mean for the good. Okay, so as we kind of think about this move to the downside for Vechain, the double bottom would be 3.5 cent. It would be a bullish pattern where we could see potential reversals to the upside. Now if we were to come down a little bit deeper than the 3.5 cent, in my opinion it would lead us down a little bit deeper. On the more conservative side, it would put us between 3.1 and 3.4 cent. That would be a great area for reversal. But between the two, on the more worse side, 2.9 to 3.2, and the higher side, like a more conservative target of 3.1 to 3.4, there is overlap. And the overlap, guys, is coming in at 3.1 to 3.2, and that means there's a higher probability that that is the area of reversal for Vechain's VET token. Nothing is guaranteed, of course, because nothing in the crypto space ever is. This is just a world of probabilities, and here we have probabilities at around that kind of 3.5 to 3.2 cent. Okay, and I do think that we're likely to see reversal to the upside from here. Now if I throw on the EMAs, we can see that the price action is still above the 200 exponential moving average, and the 200 EMA is your trend filter. So whilst we remain above that 200 EMA, the market is bullish for Vechain VET. Okay, and we want to kind of consider that. Now the current price of the 200-day EMA is coming in at 3.489 cent, and that is right in line with a double bottom situation at 3.5, meaning that there is a high probability that the double bottom does play out and we get a significant bounce to the upside. On the flip of that, we are finding that the 50-day simple moving average and the 50-day exponential moving average are currently resistance. They're suppressing the price down a little bit at the moment, as indicated with our yellow and blue lines on our chart right here. So we find ourselves sandwiched between the 200-day EMA, the 50-day EMA. But as I said before, and I'll say it again, as long as we're above that 200-day EMA, we are of course looking reasonably strong for Vechain here. Now, why do I want to kind of talk about this in such detail? Well, I want to say that this correction that we've seen to the downside so far for Vechain, although is a little bit shocking for some, if we do see that double bottom, it's a 34.31% from its previous high at 5.3. Okay, it's come down a little bit, but it has actually held up much better than many other altcoins, so it's not a huge concern to me anyway. Taking a look at this, we had the 5-wave pattern to the upside that led into this most recent correction. Now the bounce to the upside, if we do find a double bottom, if it doesn't breach that high that we had at 5.3, then we are going to be looking at this as just a kind of dead cat bounce, looking for more slippage to the downside for a nice healthier correction. There are a few things that I think it's worth noting on the daily time frame here, specifically with the correction only being around 30%. It's quite irregular. You would normally expect a correction of after a 5-wave movement like this, of what we're seeing here, to be around the 50% level, not just 30%. So we do know that we're holding up incredibly well, and that could be fine. It could be absolutely no problem whatsoever. But a dead cat bounce could be something to be expecting on Vechain before we see further slippage to the downside and actually have and complete that healthy correction of around 50% after the 5-wave movement to the upside. If we do just come down a little bit, maybe towards 3.2 sen, then we are looking quite nicely for an aggressive move to the upside, where we could see the next move really coming in at around 13.1 to 18.4 sen. And it will be a phenomenal show for Vechain. It would show us with growth of approximately around 315 to about 480%. It's not to be snorted at. It does actually show us with some pretty significant potential in this bullish market for Vechain to push up higher. But word of caution, just because things are technically possible doesn't mean that they are going to happen. I'm a little bit concerned about the bigger, broader economic climate for the crypto market and industry as a whole. I don't think it's been holding up all that well most recently, and should the rest of crypto also continue to have a pretty severe pullback, then I do think Vechain will be right there alongside them, bleeding out even deeper. So as I said, there's huge opportunity in dollar cost averaging, building out your bags. Would I be panic selling my cryptocurrency right now in favor of potentially buying cheaper? No, I don't think that's necessarily the right thing to do. So kind of to summarize this video, I think Vechain has a lot of potential for some really significant gains in the market. But I also am a little bit cautious because I do think there's a lot more room to the downside here potentially for Vechain on a macro scale. We might find a bounce around the 3.2 cent area, 3.5 cent area. That could be fantastic for a short-term trade. Specifically, if I was trading, I would be looking at trading a long position around there using something like leverage of 10 or 5x on BitGet or Blowfin. Those would be my go-to exchanges when it comes to leverage trading. All links of those guys are in the description below if you haven't yet signed up. So I think there's a lot of potential in the long term, but do brace yourself for some volatility in the short to medium term. Hopefully we can breach the previous high, indicating that we have that next parabolic leg to the upside. If we do not and we find continuous resistance, then unfortunately I expect us to lose our 200-day exponential moving average and slip further to the downside on the VET token. You can let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below, and if you haven't done so yet, why don't you check out this video right here where I'm talking about what's going on with XRP.